In this L2 data mapping video, we're going to go through the process of using the telephones branch, which is one of the biggest things that our users are tapping into. So we want to make sure we dive deep into the different selections here. Now, right off the bat, the biggest three selections within the tool are phone number exists, landline phone number exists, and cell phone number exists. These are going to be your counts for the state for cell phones, individuals that have landlines associated with them, and then those that have phone numbers all together across the state. So if you're looking for those people to text or to hand dial calls to with cell phone numbers, you can simply select yes. And this is going to give you an individual count of cell phone numbers. For landlines, it's a little different because landlines are based on the household, right? So these are all the individuals, around 7 million people in the state, that have a landline number associated with their record. But if you look in the lower left-hand corner, you see addresses, 3.5 million. Those 3.5 million addresses each represents the unique landline number because it's going to be one landline per household. So therefore, you can see that really the count of unique landlines is 3.5 million versus 7 million voters that all happen to have a landline. From there, you've got additional selections that can be made. One is, of course, the confidence code. We have confidence codes here for both landlines and cell phones. Cell phones go 1 to 2, and 1 is the best, 2 is the lowest, and then 1 to 5, 1 is the best, 5 is the lowest. Now, when you're talking about the methodology behind this, there's a lot of documentation and other things we can go into, but really what it's about is a way of identifying that this number matches the individual for whom it's supposed to be connected. So it's not that the phone number is active or not. We simply say active numbers stay in the file. If we find them to be inactive, we remove them from the file. In this case, what you're looking at are finding those people who we are sure or a little less sure have a number associated with that name. So if it's a 1 or a 2, those are going to be your absolute highest numbers, or 1 is, of course, the best. In terms of our confidence of the record, the constituent or voter record matching back the commercially available telephone data. If you're taking 3, 4s, or 5s, it's going to be just a little less. Now, the way you use this would be, let's say we want to do this with cell phones, and we just want the 1s. We want to make sure we're only going to those people. We want to do a text campaign. We want to use their name. So we want to make sure that their name is going to match or have the highest certainty. What I'm going to do is change this from 1 to 2. I'm going to deselect unknowns. And now the count is going to go down from around 11 million down to about 4.4 million. So there is a significant drop off in terms of our confidence. Now, the 2s aren't bad. We're simply slightly less confident in them. You can do the same thing with landline numbers. And let's say we just wanted 1s and 2s in this case. We simply can select 1, 2, deselect unknown. And now we are showing you those individuals for whom we have the highest confidence in terms of landline connected numbers within the file, which is around 5.1 million individuals. Some of the other branches within the telephone branch include the ability to search an individual number. So I'm going to collapse all these branches and start fresh, and we'll go back and we'll say landline telephone or cell phone. In this case, you can actually type in a complete number and look somebody up, or you can type in a partial number and put an asterisk or a question mark at the end of it. So in this case, let's try this, 91688. And that's all we know. I put an asterisk at the end, do a quick search, and you can see that we have 588 people in the Sacramento area that have a 916 primarily, that have a 916 number, and it starts with 88. So now we can narrow that search even further if we're looking for somebody. And of course, that can be done with cell phone numbers as well. One of the other branches that we also have in here as well is the cell phone only branch. So if you're looking for households that are unique cell phone households, meaning they don't have a landline, you can simply click true and go to those households. And then you can create a separate list of those households that have a landline but not have a cell phone. And then you can get the most complete and unique data set possible so you're not using redundant or overlapping phone contact information. And that's using the telephone branches.